celebs, reality stars, and real life drama. It's all on the plate. Welcome to Weekly Dish on Pam Unfiltered. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly Dish here on Pam Unfiltered. If you guys are new, welcome to the channel. If you're curious to know what Weekly Dish is, it is a segment here on Pam Unfiltered where we recap the things that's been going on during the week, whether it's in the entertainment celebrity realm, whether it's in reality TV, or just regular news that's actually trending throughout the country. But let's get started on what's been going on. So this past week, there's been 3 shocking deaths. I don't know what it is about the celebrity world where when one celebrity passes, there's always 2 to follow. I know we're all curious as to why that happens, but it's life. We all live, we all die. So first off, we have Mr. Ozzy Osbourne. So this past Wednesday, it was announced that Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 76 in his home in the UK, surrounded by family. There's absolutely no word of the cause of his death, but I feel like his past indulgements were probably part of the problem. If you don't know who Ozzy Osbourne is, Ozzy Osbourne was the lead singer in a rock band called Black Sabbath. I believe Black Sabbath started in the 60s. They were really famous in the 70s, and it kind of just started to die down in the 80s. And then if you guys are like Gen Z or younger, then you don't know that Ozzy Osbourne had a reality show in the early 2000s with his wife and his 2 kids, Kelly and Jack. Now, Ozzy Osbourne has 6 children. He has 3 with his wife, Sharon. Amy is the oldest out of those 3, but we know that she didn't want to be a part of the reality show, so we all know Kelly and Jack. But anyway, during the time Ozzy Osbourne was in Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne was well into heavy drugs, right? So he had heavy drug use most likely in the 60s, the 70s, and into the 80s. And because he was so into the drugs, it affected his mobility. So if you guys ever see him speak, he doesn't speak properly because of the drug use. And in 2003, he was also diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So all these things that's been going on with his body from his past indulgence and his disease just really affected his way of life, I should say, right? And right before he died, there was a Black Sabbath concert, and you can see that he's sitting in a chair because he no longer was able to walk. Again, we don't know the cause of his death. It'll probably come out a little later, but I feel like his past indulgence in his disease was part of the cause. But rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne, and our condolences to him, his wife, and his 6 children. So this next death, I'm trying to muster up some empathy, some sympathy, because he's a human being, but it's kind of hard from his past views on my people, my Black people. But you guys already know who I'm talking about, and that is Hulk Hogan. So this past Friday, it was announced that Hulk Hogan died at the age of 71 for cardiac arrest. So in the morning, he must have had a heart attack. His wife called the ambulance, and the people who lived in his neighborhood saw what was going on, and one woman started to record. So in the video, you see the paramedics put him on a gurney as they're doing CPR, and then they whoosh him away into the ambulance. They couldn't do anything to save him, and he passed away. Again, I'm trying to muster up some sympathy because, about 10 years ago, there was an audio clip of Hulk Hogan pretty much calling Black people the N-word, specifically his daughter's boyfriend the N-word. He was very upset that his daughter was with a Black man, and he just decided to be racist and call him the N-word. It's kind of sad because I grew up in the 90s, and specifically, my childhood was in the early 90s, and I have 2 brothers. So you can imagine a lot of the guy things that I watched, and wrestling was definitely one of them. And we loved Hulk Hogan in this household. You know, we loved Andre the Giant, Razor Ramon, the Hart brothers, Owen, and who was the other one? It doesn't even matter. And Macho Man Randy Savage. Like, these are the people that we watched when we were younger, and definitely Hulk Hogan was number one. So to hear him in a video calling Black people the N-word was just really saddened. But I would just say this: rest in peace and condolences to his family on this loss. So moving on. So this last passing really hit home to me. I know the Black community here in the United States, and depending on how old you are, definitely non-Black Americans. And that's the passing of Malcolm-Jamal Warner. If you don't know who Malcolm-Jamal Warner is, he is an actor. He is most notable as playing Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Now, Malcolm was on vacation in Costa Rica with his wife and his daughter when, unfortunately, he drowned when he was swimming. He was pulled under by a riptide current. Now, initial reports said that he was in the ocean swimming when he was pulled under, but as the days went by, actually it was him and his daughter that was in the ocean that was swimming. There was also reports stating that this particular area where he was, there are tons of signs warning beachgoers that the currents there are very, very dangerous and they should not swim. Not sure if he saw those warning signs. They seem to be all over. Again, we don't have any information if he did or did not. Most likely, the only person that can answer that is his wife. But the person who rescued him out of the water was an actual doctor, and he actually came out and he made a statement, and he said, "I was about 200 meters from the internet at Playa Grande, spending the day on vacation with my partner. There were very few people on the beach and the sea was rough. I ran into the area, into the sea with my surfboard, heading into the rip current towards the person being pointed at by some beachgoers. After a few minutes, I saw a shadow, dove down and pulled the person out. It all happened very quickly, and although there were people on the beach who entered the water to rescue him and his daughter, they were not able to arrive in time." They said once he was pulled from under the water without vital signs, then CPR began, but unfortunately, resuscitation was unsuccessful, and he passed away. Again, this is a really sad moment. And again, he's a lovable actor. He also didn't just play Theo Huxtable. He had his own show called Malcolm and Eddie with Eddie Griffin. I know he did a movie. Unfortunately, I've never seen any of his movies. I just know him definitely for TV. He's also currently known for playing on The Resident. That was a TV show that I watched, and I absolutely loved him. He played a beautiful, smart, very successful surgeon. I believe he was a cardiologist, if I'm not mistaken. That was recently canceled about a couple of years ago. I haven't seen him in anything since. He also was nominated for a Grammy for his album. He did poetry. He didn't win, obviously, the Grammy, but he was nominated. Definitely, my condolences go to him and my condolences go to his wife and his daughter and his mother and other family. This is just really, really sad. He was very young, and it's just an unfortunate event.
Denise! It's over, isn't it?
They're supposed to think as a Gordon Gartrell.
You don't like it?
Ask me the question again.
You don't like it?
I hate it. Look at it. Oh, it's the ugliest shirt I've ever seen.
It's not that bad, is it? It's better than I could do.
Look at these sleeves. My arms are the same length. Worn out my sleeves. This collar's all crazy and its inside is too big.
Well, maybe if you tucked it in a little more.
It's tucked into my socks. You are gonna pay for this.
Mom, it's the last time I'm ever making anything for you again!
Good!
All right, so we're going to get out this somber mood and we're going to go to some other topics. This particular topic has me cackling because it's so funny and honestly, I just don't care. So recently, this particular story made headlines because it seems to be off-putting, but I feel like it's only off-putting to white liberals. I don't think POC people necessarily care about what's going on here. And what I'm talking about is recently we were made aware that there were some white Americans here creating a whites only community. And they're creating this in the state of Arkansas in the Ozark Mountains. And I believe they're trying to move into the state of Missouri. But again, they're making a whites only community. And the only way you can get into this community, because you can apply to live there, you only can have European descent. So if you are, I don't believe they're going to accept anybody that's like Greek, Italian, Turkish, Jewish. Like, you guys, you're not allowed. Obviously, Black, Latin, Indigenous, Asian, Arabic, Middle Eastern, we're definitely not allowed. But yeah, so they're creating a community and it's called Return to the Land. Now, see, this is the only issue that I have about this situation, saying return to the land, because if you wanted to return to the land, you might want to get on a plane and return to your ancestry land, because it's definitely not America. The only people who are indigenous, who are, I should say, indigenous to this land is indigenous people. If you are not of native descent, this is not your land. Okay, that's the only thing I can't stand about when white people say things about go back to your country. Well, this ain't your country either, brother, sister. But anyway, so TMZ met up with the community co-founder, and this is what he has to say. So check this video out.
First of all, explain the premise. Why a white-only community?
Well, many white Americans do value their European heritage, and we don't think there's anything wrong with that. Many also are afraid that our identity is under threat from mass immigration, low fertility rates, just cultural changes. And we're not just a racial association. We also value traditional European culture, architecture, music, art. And so we want to create a space where that can be celebrated.
So when we say white only, for example, what if a Jewish person, what if I come in and say, I'd like to join this community?
Well, you're welcome to apply. Admissions decisions are made on a case-by-case basis, and we're not purists about this. So if someone has some non-white ancestry, there's a chance they could be accepted. We do view Jewish origins as having their roots in the Near East, and so they wouldn't fall into the category of European heritage.
Why is European heritage the purest form of European heritage, something that you embrace to the exclusion of others?
Well, for something to be what it is, it has to not be other things. I think it's fine if people want to blend and mix and mingle cultures, but I do want cultural diversity to exist. So I want a pure form of Portuguese culture to exist. I want pure Japanese culture to exist in their own respective spheres. So I want a kind of pure European tradition to be maintained somewhere.
I mean, that's the classic segregationist policy, which, we had, up till the early 1960s. So fair to say you're a segregationist.
The major difference is that back then it was forced segregation, and I think that's immoral. Right now, what we have is effective forced integration, and I think that's also immoral. Forcing people to live in ways they don't want to live is the problem. It's not that people may want to voluntarily go their own way. I don't think there's anything morally wrong with that.
I mean, there are clearly people who would say that this is a racist premise and that you are racist for propagating it. What do you say to them?
Well, our association is racial in nature as well as cultural, but we wouldn't identify as racists, and it's not entirely clear what people mean by racist anyway.
So there you have it, guys. They're building the community. Again, I don't have a problem with this. I say more power to you. If that's what you want to build, if you're not trying to cause harm to other people and this is how you want to live, I have zero problem with this at all. Again, as long as you're not trying to harm others and you're not trying to scheme and create, what's the word I'm looking for? Criminal acts. If you're not trying to do that, again, this is the way they want to live. Let them live. Me personally, my goal right now is to create a family compound for me and my family, and we just live in our community. So again, I don't have a problem with that. Again, more power to you. Only people having a problem with this is white liberals, and they shouldn't. Let them be. If this is America, land of the free, that's their choice to do it. Let them be. What are y'all thoughts on that? Honestly, I would love to know that, because I'm on the side of I don't give a damn. On to the next topic. So, all right, so this next topic kind of pissed me off a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because as Black people in America, a lot of us come from humble beginnings, right? We don't have a lot of money. I came from, because we live in New York City, it would be considered lower middle class. But if I lived in Texas, if I lived in other states, I would be considered middle class, or my family would be considered middle class. But anyway, a lot of Black people here in America come from humble beginnings, right? And when we become rich, whether it's being a celebrity, a sports person, or a lawyer, a doctor, however we come into money, I feel like for us, we need to move a little bit smarter. And I know you're like, what the hell are you talking about, Pam? So this past Friday, it was announced that Glorilla was arrested on felony drug possession, right? And you're like, oh my God, this Glorilla, she do drugs? What's going on? It's not what you think, right? So Glorilla, it was announced that Glorilla had some intruders in her Atlanta home, right? So the cops were sent to the home. When they got there, the intruders weren't there, but they got a search warrant to the house. So when they were searching the house, they came upon a block of weed. So because they saw that, what did they have to do? Put out a warrant on Glorilla because it was her house. Now, according to her lawyers, they said that Glorilla has not been in the Atlanta home for a very long time, that friends and family were actually staying there. So when the warrant was out for her arrest, of course, Glorilla, she turned herself in, and then she bonded out for $22,000. My only issue with this is you have to, when you become a celebrity or you become rich, you have to be very careful who you have around you, because you're no longer in the hood or the people around the hood. Everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart, right? And this is a clear example. You allowed family and friends into your home, and they brought drugs into your house, and that is your house. You are responsible for the things that go on in there. And as people who have money, again, you have to be careful who you trust in your new inner circle. And because she was a little bit ignorant and a little bit naive about the people who she have in her circle, that now she has a felony drug possession charge. The only way that this charge will be dropped is when her lawyers prove, because they said that she has not been in that home in a very long time, they have to show proof where she's been. Has she been in Atlanta? They probably have to show camera proof if she has cameras in her home. That's the only way this possession charge will be dropped. But once it is dropped, who's going to take the fall for it? Are you going to name the people who are in the home? How is this going to go about? But again, you have to be very careful when you become into a new tax bracket, that you vet the people that are around you. You have to make sure that those people have your best interests at heart, because if they don't, things like this can happen. I wish her all the best on this, and I hope the people who are around her that do have her best interests at heart really drill it in her to say, you need to fix the people who are around you. We got to change this, because this is not a good look for your reputation and anything further endeavors that you want to happen in your career. Again, best of luck to Glorilla. So let's move on to this other topic. All right, y'all. So this next topic, we don't have a lot of information on because it was just released. But UK actor Michael Ward, known for Top Boy, you know, that hit series on Netflix, Top Boy. Well, he was arrested on rape and assault charges. And according to TMZ, Okay, he was charged with 2 counts of rape and 3 counts of assault in relation to an alleged incident that happened in 2023 with a woman. Now, TMZ got a statement from the superintendent that is leading the investigation, Scott Ware. So he says this: our specialist officers continue to support the woman who has come forward. We know investigations of this nature can have significant impact on those who make reports. One thing I know about the UK and their court system, they're not just going to arrest someone on claims. There has to be significant evidence in order for them to arrest and charge the person. Now, here in the United States, we do a little here and there to get an arrest and possibly some charges. But over there in the UK, they don't play. This is something serious for him. Ward literally is rising as an actor. Again, he was on Top Boy. He recently was in a film with Pedro Pascal, Emma Watson, and Joaquin Phoenix called Eddington. I don't know what he's going to do. Hopefully he gets the best lawyers. But baby, when you get charges like that put on you and you're a celebrity, there's no going back. Usually your career is over. This is a young Black man as well. We don't know what the woman looks like, but if she is of non-Black descent, yeah, I fear that his career is over. But again, all the best luck to him. If he actually did it, then he belongs under the jail and she deserves justice. If not, I don't know what's gonna happen with his career. And I wish him luck if that's the case. All right, so let's get into this last topic. We got to talk about Shannon Sharpe. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of months ago, there was a lawsuit filed against him from a young woman claiming that he assaulted her during their relationship. Well, baby, they settled out of court. So she sued him for $60 million. They settled for $23 million. Now, mind you, when all this was news, he made sure to let everybody know she is playing him. She's lying. She's not getting nothing. Well, she's getting $23 million and she's retiring her OnlyFans account. So during that time when that news broke out, there was a lot of information that said that, he met her when she was 18. Of course, again, she was an OnlyFans. He would meet her in Nevada, Las Vegas. They would have these weird sexual encounters where, he played like the little slave man and she was the white woman, doing all kinds of I forgot what you call that type of sexual act, but very, very weird. And it's also weird that this woman was 18 years old and this man was in his 50s. The thing about not just say football players, but a lot of sports entertainers, when they get some money, they become rich. They love to fetishize non-Black women. It's a little alarming. The thing with Shannon Sharpe was he decided to go extremely young, thinking that she was naive, thinking that all the acts that they were doing, she was happy with the little bit of money I should say a little bit of money. He was actually giving her quite a bit of money, but thinking whatever they were doing, whatever he was giving was just enough. That's all. That's all that was going to go on. But little did he know, as their relationship developed, she was recording him. She was taking pictures of certain things. And because of this evidence that was presented in the lawsuit, she got $23 million. I absolutely do not feel bad for Shannon Sharpe. He needs to learn that you have to be very careful, regardless if it's someone you're dating or someone you just have a sexual relationship. You have to be extremely careful who you're with, because just because you think you're a rich Black man and Black men are very desirable in this country, that these women are genuine, because she wasn't. She just wanted money out of you, because if she felt that he really did these things to her, she wouldn't have went the lawsuit route. She would have filed a police claim. I think that's how you say it, right? No, a police report. She would have done that. This is under the statutes of limitations. This happened during her time between 18, I think, and 21, 22. The girl is only 23. The statute of limitations, I believe, for assault and all that stuff. I think it's like 8 years or something like that. So she was well within those years to file a claim with the police department. But again, that's not what she wanted. She wanted money and she got it. Again, I don't feel bad for him. Lesson learned. Now, I don't know how he's going to recuperate the $23 million, because you got to remember when this incident happened, he left ESPN. I haven't seen anything when it comes to his podcast with Chad Ochocinco and the other stuff that's going on with him. I don't know. He's just going to have to take that $23 million L, and that's just it. He might not be able to recuperate it. But again, I don't feel bad for him. I really don't. Anybody else who falls in the trap of women like this young lady who sued him. But anyway, what are you guys' thoughts on this story? Any other stories that I talked about here on this week's Weekly Dish? Definitely let me know down below in the comment section. And as always,